following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness, the podcast that runs over your old corpse for its own personal gain, but not today. I'm Joe, and with me as always, the only woman alive who can tell you what childhood tastes like. It's Barney.
Tastes like cereal and milk.
And fish pie.
I told you, our Darren messaged me going, I liked the fish pie we used to have. And I was like, I bet you had the liver with the tubes in it as well, didn't you? Yeah, I like that as well.
The what?
Weird. We used to get liver, you know, like liver, like...
Liver's nice, but...
I know what liver is.
Sorry, I wasn't being condescending.
Mum used to get the stuff that had tubes still in it, so as you're eating it, you had to pick tube... Yeah.
What, like the tubes, the body tube?
I don't know what it is. Like,
yeah.
If you have liver now, you get it sliced nice and thin, and it's lovely. This was like a doorstop of liver that, again, as much as I love my mum, she would fry it to within an inch of its life and then put it in some gravy, and it would just be like shoe leathery texture. But it would have these.
It.
Oh, don't put it on a plank. But this, it had like ventricles in it or something. It's the only way I can describe it. Yeah.
Nope.
And also here, sorry, let's do the fucking intro.
Let's do the podcast, yeah.
The lady who thinks she's too good to have sex with her own clone in the past or whatever that was all about. Hey.
Yeah, that was all you.
I still stand by it. If you knew you could get away with it, you would. If you want to keep up to date with all the Hallmark of Greatness gossip, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word. Are we on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness? If you have a film that is not time travel related, please send it to hallmarkgreatness@gmail.com and we will do it, because literally, like, all Amazon is recommending now is time travel films. Get in the wardrobe and time travel.
We're stuck now. That's it.
That's it. What were you going to say about liver, Katie? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm like, we have to do the things in order.
I was just going to say, my friend made me a liver thing for the first time I had liver, and I didn't mind the taste, but it was shaped like a liver, and it was very off-putting. Yeah. I think I could have coped if it was just like cubed. It wasn't that exciting.
No, it's better than kidney. I'm not a fan of kidney.
Oh, it might have been kidney.
Kidneys.
It looked like a kidney.
Kidney's softer.
Oh, it's the texture. Yeah.
It was the shape.
Probably a kidney. Yeah.
It was probably a kidney. Yeah.
Right.
It was disgusting. I've eaten calf and not calf. Hoof.
Hoof.
Oh,
describing.
That was fine.
Describing gross things we've eaten. I've had tripe. That was fairly gross.
Oh, I've had tripe as well. I've had tripe. Looks like cheesy broccoli tripe, and then it's you find out what it actually is.
Grandad used to have it, didn't he, Barney?
Tripe, yeah.
Yeah, and it stinks when you cook it.
Does.
And then all you do is put vinegar on it, and it just tastes of vinegar. Just drink some vinegar if you're that bothered, because there's no nutrition in it, surely. Ugh.
It's like
anyway.
what I do to black peas. Half a ton of vinegar on my black peas.
Yeah, but that's a fun bonfire night treat, isn't it? This has all got weird, but it's better than this week's film. 2021's Our Dream Wedding. Barney, your synopsis.
Hello. No.
No? Are you just abandoning Barney's synopsis now?
I've forgotten. I was too excited by the reviews and completely forgot about a synopsis.
Oh, that's fine. I will give you the review. The actual synopsis. Commitment shy Natalia tries on her grandma's quote-unquote magical wedding veil and is transported to her future, where she and long-term boyfriend Scott are happily married with 2 beautiful children. But is she really ready to commit? I fucking hate this film.
It's a weird one, because she doesn't want to be with him, and then she does.
Because she's seen that it all works out.
I think she wants to be with him. She just didn't. He just proposed randomly with a piece of grass, and she was like, "Oh, we have other things to talk about in our lives first."
Also, we've somehow managed to get Chinese on this picnic. Chinese takeaway on a picnic. How'd you do that? I guess with Uber Eats, you can get whatever now, isn't it? But we're at the bench in the park. Yeah, if you can just drop it off. Cheers. But yeah, I think this is one of the, I don't know, not the worst one. It's just like
it did have a storyline, at least.
Its biggest fault was it was boring. Nothing happened.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of like
so Sorry.
vanilla yogurt ice cream, frozen yogurt. Like, it's there, but I don't want it.
It was so sickly sweet, wasn't it, as well? Like, she has this perfect life in the future.
But it wasn't perfect because sometimes they were tired and the child is being something at school. I don't know.
Got anxiety.
Drinking outside. You've got a house. Drink in your house. That really annoyed me.
See,
I remember.
I get the main thing with it. Well, I guess like what it comes down to is that like her life seemed really boring. Like, to me, as a man who doesn't know what's going to happen from day to day most of the time, I know I'm going to go to work, but after that, it's bonus time, isn't it? I might just, like, chase a pigeon all the way home or whatever. But it's like, they go to the same restaurant every week.
Yeah.
They go,
Not
like,
missed in 10 years.
and they have the same meal every time they go there. And it's like, fucking shoot me in the head. And then when she tries to have something else, he slaps it. And anyway, yeah. It just
Eat your
felt
tiramisu.
really,
I don't want tiramisu.
I know, yeah. But it just felt really like, this is all you're good for, woman. And I was like, she could have been so much more. She hadn't. Well, we'll get into it. Like, so it opens, as these things always do, establishing shots of a city. We know it's
hospital.
not. We know it's not Chicago because Chicago is a long way away.
Yes.
So that opens it up to literally anywhere else in America, apart from, I don't know, whatever's next to Chicago. And we're introduced to the heroine of this film, Natalie. Did I say Natalia before? Sorry, Natalie, who is working, I thought, as a nurse. I thought she's a bit up herself for a nurse, isn't she? But she's like treating a child and just giving it a load of sweets.
Yes.
Not a dentist.
Well, her best friend, ethnic best friend, does say, you'll make a better doctor than a dentist. And I was like, all right, nurse.
At least it wasn't a nurse.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine?
Could have been worse.
And then
could have been worse. It could have been a nurse.
Nice.
Get that on a shirt. And then we're introduced to her boyfriend, Scott, who he's also a trainee doctor, resident, do they call them in America? Or no, they're fighting about residencies, aren't they?
They were like applying for residencies, weren't they? I think they were just a medical student. They were just medical students.
Are medical students just allowed to do stuff on their own like that? Like unsupervised? I don't know. I'm basing it on Scrubs.
Just giving her sweets, wasn't she?
Do they not rotate on residency? I know they do in the UK, so it's like they have to do so many months on geriatrics, so many months on paediatrician.
She'd done rotation on surgery, and she didn't want to do that as a thing. But my knowledge of this is based on Scrubs, and it's like I thought you were either medical or surgery, and that was the thing, because Turk's surgery and JD's medical, isn't he?
And surgery, the cool kids.
They're the jocks, and the other ones are the nerds. Yeah.
The nerds,
I don't know.
My PPs.
Yeah. But they're like, and he's like trying to feel her up at work, which I guess is fun, but also
he's trying to what? Sorry.
Trying to feel her up, isn't he?
I think he said finger her up.
No,
I don't remember that.
Not hygienic in a hospital.
So they got one pair of scrubs and she wears it constantly. She's like, no, don't, we're at work. And he's like, oh, are we going out for date night later? And she's like, no, I can't because I've got to sit here and look at all these residencies things and pick one. And I was like,
she's got to make pros and cons list. She's the classic type A woman.
Yeah,
and he's the classic golden retriever boyfriend, isn't he?
But he's not he is a dick.
He is a dick.
He is a dick, but he's not like I need to do this meeting, otherwise I won't make partner dick.
No, he's more like, let's be spontaneous, even though you hate that. Let's do that all the time.
Yeah, I know, but you have to, like, that's opposites attract, isn't it? Like Paula Abdul says, stop phoning me, Joe. It's never going to happen. But no, it's and so that like they agree to go on. She's like, oh no, I can't. He's like, oh come on, we'll go out. You need to go and see your mum though for reasons. So she goes, oh, all right then. Walks out of work in her scrubs, which again I don't think you're allowed to do because I think you have to like
wash them at the hospital, don't you?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I was never allowed to wear my Greggs uniform outside of Greggs, so surely it's the same thing.
It's pretty much the same.
I suppose, yeah.
From sewing up holes to sausage rolls. So she arrives at her mum and dad's massive house. Her mum's making biscuits. Her dad's being a cheeky scamp trying to eat the biscuits. And her sister is there.
Her dad doesn't look that much older than her.
I'm hoping that Katie's done the ages of the actresses in this because I think between... Oh, okay, fair enough. It's not really one of the things you love to do, but I can understand why, because this film is dreary. It's the one word I will have for it is that it's beige. It's the potato waffle of films. They're nice, but I don't want them. And so her sister is there, who is called Abby.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, we never hang out anymore because you're always too busy." And it's like, well, I've got a life, I've got a career and an annoying boyfriend. And what have you got, Abby? Nothing apart from all these fabulous clothes.
Yeah, they do like a trying on montage, don't they? Like they're in a shop.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, it's
how to engage with a teenager asked to wear their clothes." I thought they
question, yeah. And she's like, "Oh, okay, then all is forgiven."
Yeah,
it's bring your sister who's a doctor to school day. Can you make it?
Can you make it on really short notice?
Just no, because I've again see aforementioned answer if I have a job and stuff. Like I can't just drop stuff for you. And she's like, "Oh, okay, maybe not then." They finally about trying on clothes, and she finds out that she hasn't spoken to her for like 3 months properly. They've not had a proper sister, not that one. Not the one with Roger from next door. They've not had a proper chat for like 3 months, and she doesn't know that she hasn't got this boyfriend now, and blah de blah and all this nonsense.
And she's like, "I just want to meet someone that like what you and Scott have." And
would you? Yeah. Oh, he's trying to pop it in you at work. No.
Give me the finger at work.
It's the old coroner's joke, isn't it? Anyway, I'll tell you later.
All right.
But they go on this fucking picnic on a bench in a park, and they've got a wicker basket, right, with wine glasses and Chinese food in them little Chinese cartons. Ow.
I really want to eat Chinese out of those cartons, actually. That's the one thing from America I really wish we did.
Here, yeah. Rather than the foil ones. Apparently, if you unfold them, they fold out into a plate.
What?
Yeah, I found out, but nobody does that. Apparently,
nobody does that because it looks so cool to have it in a little carton.
Little pot noodle,
like eating off tin foil feels a bit weird.
Yeah, but these are like waxed paper, aren't they? Wax card, based on my knowledge of them from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And he basically says, "Oh well, I love you, always have. Let's get married." And she goes, "No, I don't want that. We've got a lot of things to discuss." He immediately goes, and has a proper cop on about it because he didn't get his own way. And she
considering he'd made her a ring out of a piece of grass as well.
Yeah,
did you decide 2 seconds before to do it?
I had to break into my old house to get my engagement ring to her because I sent it to the wrong place. That's dedication.
That is dedication.
Yeah, not just rolling up some. No, not at the time, because that would have been very awkward to explain.
That would have been. I'm just here to get my engagement ring.
Wink.
I used to live here, honest.
And so she goes, "Look, can we not just go back to 30 seconds ago and talk like adults?" And he immediately goes, "No," knocks everything off the table. He doesn't, but he wants to. And stomps off, leaves her in a park on her own, to be attacked. Chinese. I don't know, by wolves or bandits. Yeah, and he's not bothered. He just walks off. She's like, "Oh, great, I guess I'll move all this stuff back then. Oh, also, you on my lift, so cheers. Guess I'll get an Uber." She doesn't. She just goes round and round the boating lake on one of those pedalos on her own.
I wore this nice dress for my baby sister for nothing.
Yeah. No. Next day at work, they bump into each other, and he goes, "We need to have a chat." So they sit outside, and he goes, "I'm moving to Chicago because you said no to me." And I'm like, "Fucking hell, mate!"
She didn't even say no, never. I hate you. She just said, "Not right now."
Not right now. Yeah.
I was eating my Chinese. If I was eating Chinese food and someone proposed to me, I'd be like, "I'm eating Chinese food. Can we talk about this afterwards?" Yeah. But as an overreaction for his fragile male ego, he immediately goes, "I have to move across the country now. That'll teach you for not loving me." And I'm like, good.
I was going to say no, but I've just rang them and told them yes because I'm a dickhead.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, bye. And then at this point, I thought we were going to get she bumps into a man in the street. He makes balloon animals or something. And that was going to be the love story. No, it is not. It is not that at all. This is where the horror set. This is what makes it a horror film in my eyes. She goes round to see Grandma Mimi, who has a voice.
Mimi.
A voice that can only be described like playing cards in bicycle spokes.
Who's that from Coronation Street? Have a cup of tea now.
She has got a very... Is it Phyllis?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come upstairs and try me veil on.
Yeah, basically, she. Oh, sometimes these things don't work out. What's the?
She's got a really Lancashire accent as well.
It's bad. Babs Cabs from the League of Gentlemen, isn't it? He split me from scrotum. And she's she doesn't say that. She says, "Oh, me and your granddad, we love each other very much." And she's like, "Yeah, but how did you know? Did you never get nervous? And did you not make the wrong choices? And like, you know, because you never seemed like that." And she goes, "Try this wedding veil on for reasons that will become apparent. It helps put everything into perspective." She goes, "All right, bit weird." Puts it on, and we get like psycho freak out music.
And suddenly Grandma Mimi's not there. She looks around. She can't find her.
It's the same room. She comes downstairs and Scott is there and two annoying as fuck children.
As Bernie can attest, they're all annoying, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of child actors.
It's
I
the boy one.
Referring to the fact that you got wallops today.
Well, Dylan's supposed to have some kind of attention disorder. I can't remember what the girl's called.
Emma.
Yeah, because they keep focusing on his test and how he can't concentrate. And he goes to that parents' evening. Should
mummy."
Yeah. And then she faints, and the fucking Dylan, the kid, goes, "Stupid mummy," or something like that. And I was like, oh, Christ. Probably one of those states where you're not allowed to abort them at this later stage. Like when they're walking about and stuff. I mean, you know. She wakes up and we get the classic, "Oh, I had such a strange dream that you and you and you were there." And it turns out that it's actually real life.
Annoying children.
Yeah. And he's like, "No, that's our life now." And she's like, "What?" Right? And then this is the thing with these sort of what would have happened films like this that annoys me. She doesn't know these people. She doesn't know. No. This is 10 years after they would have got married. So like 11 years from the day of the proposal, I'm guessing. So 10 years have passed. So they would have all these in-jokes and all these memories and stuff. And she has none of it because she wasn't there for any of it. She doesn't know who these children are. They're not your kids. Like, you can't raise them because they're not yours. You don't know anything about them. That's the thing with, like, I think...
Isn't that the point? She's like trying to like navigate this life at the beginning, isn't she? And she doesn't... Yeah.
But she goes to work. She knows where her work is. They go to the park and all that stuff. How do you know where you work?
I know, and
she's got her own practice.
Yeah, and it talks about her being able to find the passwords to get her spreadsheet from...
Oh, she just uses everyone's birthdays for that, I think. That's what Mimi...
That's how she figures it out later.
Yeah,
but
Mimi says.
She never has a problem with all her work passwords.
No, I mean, don't worry. I think we're looking too much into it. But it is that thing of...
That's true.
Is it the Nicolas Cage one, Family Man? Where he wakes up and it's a whole life that he never... it's the opposite. It's the sliding doors path thing. But he doesn't know any of these people. They're all strangers to him. And yes, you might know Scott and stuff because, but there's 10 years difference there now. She's gone through pregnancies and all this stuff, and she has no memory of it. And that's where it falls apart for me. I hate it. I hate time travel-y nonsense.
Is this time travel, though?
No, it's like It's a Wonderful Life, but like shit.
Premonition, isn't it?
It's a shitty middle-class life, it should be called. So he's like, "Oh, are you all right? You banged your head quite a bit." "Yeah, I'm fine." "All right, as a doctor, that's good enough for me."
Yeah, I've forgotten who my children are, but other than that, I'm fine.
And then it's just like a whole series of japes, isn't it, then, at this point?
I wouldn't even say it's japes. It's just
a series of things that everyone has to do every day. Her doing laundry, her going to work.
It's like my life, except I'm not a doctor.
You never will be with that attitude. She goes and has a lie down, which again, after blunt force trauma to the head, I don't think you're meant to let people go to sleep either, because that's like concussion protocol. But whatever. I'm not a doctor that went to Chicago.
Or did he?
He didn't go to Chicago.
No, he didn't. He went to rubbish medical school in wherever they are. The next he's like, "Oh well, you have to go to work." He tries getting in bed with her again. Strange man. Like, it's pod people. It's not right. And he's like, oh, you got to go to work tomorrow. And she goes, all right, then I'm gonna just go out of this bed with you in it. Goes to work the next day. Isn't a medical cleared doctor. Doesn't have a medical license. Still allowed to perform to host a GP surgery. How's that
nobody
right?
knows that she doesn't know.
What if she kills someone?
Yeah.
Well, Americans love suing people. It's like,
I think
doctors kill people all the time.
Did. I'm looking at this far too much as a sort of sci-fi thing then, but it's supposed to be a fun, fluffy, but it isn't fun. Because then nurse, whatever she's called nurse not appearing in this film comes in and she's like, why are you still here? And she's like, oh, do we not work on Tuesdays? And I was like, oh, that's a bit passive aggressive, but okay. No, because it's date night and you're never late for date night. I was like,
oh.
Even everyone in your office knows what a boring fucker you are.
Also, Tuesday for a date night, that's not a night I would pick.
They're not drinking people, are they, these? They're not
going
out
and they're outside in the garden.
It's because they've got a garden to drink in. Theirs isn't just full of wheelie bins like mine is.
That is the point of having a garden to drink in.
Yeah, it's the best bit about it. But yeah, they're not going out getting leathered on brambles and getting a kebab, are they? They're like, we're going to... So they go, he's like, oh, I can't, she's like, I can't make it because I've got so much work to do. And he's like, we've never missed a date night in 10 years. It's like, never? You've never been sick, ever? Or
well, no, they're doctors.
She gave birth and was back out for date night in 7 days at best. Big chatting shit, Scott. And so he guilts her into going to this thing. And this is where we had our first date. And then they do this weird thing where they have a first date again, but she uses it to pry all this information out of him, which she should know technically.
Why? I don't think I'm following.
Yeah, but it's not her.
That's what I mean.
She's just been transported into the future. She doesn't know.
No, but the first date remains the same. So why does she need to ask him about the first date again?
I thought they were debating on what technically was their first date. Was it the first study date was their first date, or was it the first time they went for a meal and that sort of thing?
Was it the first time on that picnic bench?
Was it the first time in the broom closet at work?
The same thing.
Open your mouth and say, stop it.
Oh.
And then, she always has the chicken sandwich and he always has the other sandwich. And
he wants the chicken sandwich but doesn't get it because reasons.
So there's resentment there as well over a sandwich. I'm like, this isn't a healthy relationship. Get what you want.
You're paying for it. You eat what you want.
Somewhere else.
Get 2 brand new sandwiches, not chicken and the other boring option.
The whole thing is just twee to the point of annoyance. That's what it is. And anyway, they go out and they do this walk, and she starts coming round to it to this is my life now, I guess, and I guess I have to be happy with it. Dylan, her son, is the smartest boy in the class, but
it's very anxious.
Has test anxiety. The kid's 6. What's he getting tested about? Shapes?
Oh, they
colours?
get loads of stuff in primary school.
Do they? Like what?
Yeah. Loads of the people I work with, their kids have got anxiety about tests and stuff.
What are they testing you on at 6 years old? Genuine question.
Phonics, if you know all your sounds.
What, that sort of stuff?
yeah, exactly that.
Exactly.
Oh, great.
That, yeah.
I know all of those. I'm smarter than a 6-year-old.
You just came up with them off the top of your head. So that's amazing.
And then 6, 7, they do their SATs, which is English, maths, and spelling.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
playing with me jelly balls.
Really, loads of people are starting to. Well, I say loads. 2 people I know.
That's loads.
In the amount of in a ratio of percentage of how many people I know, that is quite a lot. Started to homeschool to get their kids out of the anxiety of the school system.
I was going to say 2 people is 50% of the people I know.
Yeah, homeschooling.
Especially if they've got any.
Yeah.
Until they're 18. That's the new future, innit? More maths. That thing I've never had to work out the circumference of a circle in my entire adult life. But
no. And they wouldn't be carrying around calculators in our pockets, and yet we do.
Yeah.
On our phones.
Take that, Mr. Swarbrick.
Mr. Swarbrick was Spanish for me.
Was he? I can't remember. Who was the Geordie one? Give us your maths books. That one. What was he called? McKenna.
Don't know. Never
Mr.
had
McKenna. Yeah. He were all right nasty. Anyways. Joe remembers school. So she's like, oh, we'll teach him some like breathing techniques and stuff. And I'm like, can you do it while holding his head underwater in a bath? And it's just Abby's getting married to someone we haven't met yet off screen. And so they go to a dress fitting for her, and Uncle Mimi's there. How are you finding the veil?
Uncle Mimi.
Yeah, he's got his woodbine on the go. All right.
Natalie was meant to bring the veil and she forgot, and they were like, oh, that's not like you. Was it not on your spreadsheet?
Oh, yeah, because she was just trying it on upstairs, trying to get back, wasn't she? Ha! It didn't work. Yeah. And Uncle Mimi's like, how are you finding it then? And she's like, this is horrible. This is not what I want.
She's like, hang on, you know that I'm from the past. How?
This is what, at what point does it become apparent to Mimi?
Mimi's
Mimi just knows.
Possibly. And she's like, well, how do I get back? And she's like, when the veil wants you to go back, it will take you back. And I was like, okay, this is terrible. This is a terrible show.
Once it's revealed all that it needs to reveal.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got any pork scratchings, love? Yeah. And then, yeah, but they make it out that she's not her usual self because she's slightly disorganized, which means she must be a fucking nightmare the rest of the time.
Yeah, she does sound like a nightmare.
See why her kid's got anxiety if it's not done a poo at 7:25 in the morning. Like, it's...
It's hard to make this sound decent.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrangle it. I'm just thinking we just go to the Uncle Mimi parts, to be honest. At least I can do my voice then.
So that she's getting married and she's organising the whole wedding, isn't she, by the sounds of it?
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, sounds amazing because wedding planning isn't fun. Unless you're that type of type A personality, which I'm not. Wedding planning is a right thing.
Yep.
I don't even like planning a party. Nat's planning my party in August because I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm considering getting just a maid of honour to plan the whole thing.
Do it. I'll borrow Nat. She's dead good.
Yeah, all right.
I said to her, I'll give you a budget. You just go. She's like, okay.
Abby's very good at organising stuff.
Yeah, she is.
And she can do indignant rage face as well. Like people don't give answers. Yeah, you see. Yes, but she's trying to. Her and Mimi are like, oh, well, we need to. She hasn't sent for the hairdresser or something. I'm skipping forward because nothing happens. They go and feed some ducks.
Mimi knows someone.
She says she knows a girl, right? And then the hairdresser shows up and it's a black lady. And I was like, is this racist? Yeah, in between, they feed some ducks. They go and like get to know each other again. The kids are like, yeah, that kid calls her an idiot again. I'm sure he does it like 3 times in the film. I'll be yeeting him into that duck pond.
Well, one of the kids forgets that she's got a project, so Scott starts making something out of lollipop sticks, and she just fucks off to bed.
Understandable. Yeah. I wouldn't want to spend time with them kids. They're shithouses.
And she's like texting him from upstairs saying, do you need any help? And she's like, no, it's all good.
But it shows up on the screen and it's like, I like that in 2021. We're still doing that. Yeah. The Hollyoaks text. Yeah.
What are you doing?
It'd be better if it was like that. Winky face. All this happens. Her and Mimi are like, we need to sort it out. Right, let's get it done. I'll phone the hairdresser. You get into your passwords and all this shite. She gets into it and then like sorts the wedding out.
It's just all really like planned, isn't it?
Non-descriptive, yeah.
So once she gets into the spreadsheet, everything's on there and she can just go file everything into place. But then there's a double date that wasn't on the spreadsheet. She says,
a 26-page spreadsheet, Natalie. Well done. And I was like, it's you.
Some things never change.
Or is it you? We don't know. Where's regular Natalie gone that was in that timeline? Is it like Quantum Leap?
In the
she's
boot
held
of the car.
in a room now.
Yeah. She's had to run her over.
Oh man, if Dean Stockwell appeared and started going boop, 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 Ziggy says there's a 12% chance that you need to do this. That'd be a better film. It doesn't happen.
My favourite part of this film is around this time where she's at work and her nurse or junior doctor or whoever comes in and says, you've just saved that girl's life. I would never have connected all those symptoms to an allergic reaction.
Yeah, she got a big man head, big lips.
But I'm pretty sure I could link a few symptoms. And it just made me laugh. And it was the best bit of the film.
Yeah, I don't know. You see, it was all that medical training of she had a rash, she had a big old head.
What could it be?
I guess it's like someone went. It's like that Mitchell and Webb sketch where like it's the doctor hit him with the electrical things that make him come back to life, unless it kills him because of too much electric. It feels very much like they didn't know what they were doing. And then they go on this double date thing. She arrives late because she doesn't know where it is. And her dad offers the advice of, it's where you always go. Just fucking tell me, Dad. Like, I don't want to...
You should know the way.
Not 20 questions, is it? Like, does it serve pizza? Oh, my first is in shoe, but not in canoe. Just tell me where it is.
I've clearly forgotten. Just tell me where it is. You've been going every week for your whole life.
Louis is waiting for you.
Oh, God. And so she arrives late. Scott stood outside with a face on because he's not got his own way again because he's a petulant fucking man-child. And he's like, are you happy with our marriage? And she sort of goes, let's just go in. Like, let's not have this before we're supposed to be having it's my sister's dinner party, double date thing, whatever that is. Let's not do this outside. Also, that restaurant looked like the shadiest fucking dive bar in the world. There was so much neon outside.
Yeah.
Like
and no lights
Las Vegas.
Inside. That's what they
the
were
problem,
missing. A few hundred.
Yeah. And only serves delicious Indian food. So they have this thing, and Abby and is it Brian?
Yeah.
Are like, well, Natalie and Scott are having like passive-aggressive arguments about sandwiches and tiramisu. Not like you do as an adult. And they're like, well, you know, we want to pick your brains about writing your own vows.
Yeah, they're like, we're getting married on Saturday and we haven't started our vows yet. Yours was so lovely and ours just sound trite.
We've just wrote, I just want to do it with you. Yeah, did you write your own, Barney? No, you didn't, did you?
No,
I didn't. Harvey wouldn't let me. I wanted to do a rap.
No.
My name is Joe, and I'm here to say I'm going to marry you, Harvey. Not tomorrow, today. See?
That's brilliant.
I just made that was just off the top of my head. That's freestyling, what they call it, the kids.
Imagine what you could do 3 days ahead of time.
Probably not much better. But yeah, and so they do this thing of like, oh, it has to come from your heart, it has to be this, that, and the other, and they sort of give each other side eye and like a little bit of thingy, and then she eats some tiramisu as if to say, "You were right, Scott, all along. I am a bitch." I was like, this is horse shit. I hate it so much. They go home, she goes to bed, he comes in, they do some deep kissing. Oh no, sorry, they watch their wedding video.
With the kids and it's very strange.
The kids are like, can we watch Moana? No, we're watching the wedding video again. That hasn't got
But
any
the wedding
sound
video's
as well.
all in... Yeah, I was going to say it's all in silence apart from the vows.
What they should have done there was got like old-timey piano, like China Lady to a Railroad Tracks music. That'd be good.
But like, she's like, why is there no sound? And he's like, well, obviously because because of reasons. And again, nobody thinks that's weird that she's completely forgotten.
Has she all this week not known what she's doing? And he's still been like, I'm not forking out for a CAT scan. You know how expensive that is in America. So they sit and watch it, and it's the most sort of shitty 80s holding hands in a sunset sort of thing. And it's like Glenn Medeiros comes on. Nothing gonna change my love for it. And it's just like, oh, this is fucking puke. And she's like, oh, this is what I always wanted. Yeah, like.
And then they did the classic time travel thing of she watches her vows, and it says something like, "I'll never let fear prevent me from loving you," or something like that. So that then comes back around later, and it's like, does she say it because she saw it? Like, when does it all begin? Because did she say it then because she saw it in the vows, and then she says it later?
It's a paradox. Yes, this is exactly the same as last week's with the fucking "it's okay to be scared
Cable
sometimes"
guy.
thing. Yeah, well, and then she goes upstairs. He comes in. They do some deep kissing, which is still weird, but whatever. And then like it's the wedding. Oh no, the wedding's cancelled. Abby shows up.
There's 3 inches of water.
But I immediately like the fact that Natalie goes, well, maybe he's not right for you. And she goes, no, it's because there's been a flood. And I'd be like, what's wrong with him?
Well, it's called Brian for starters.
Yeah, he seemed nice, Brian. And so she's like, well, phone around town halls, like bowling alleys, you know, those things where you put 20p in and an egg comes out. We can get married at any of those. And she's like, no, you can't. I told they go and get married. in the other location where this film is, that fucking restaurant again. And she's like, wow, that's great. Thanks, Natalie. You're the best big sister ever.
We'll have to
And Natalie's...
downscale it a bit, she says, doesn't she? But
yeah, well, obviously.
Knock Aunt Edith off the list last second.
Knock Aunt Mimi off the list.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, I bought a dress. Yeah, and then she's like, oh, I'm sorry, Abby, I haven't spent so much time with you, but I'm busy. And she's like, no, you're the best sister ever. Let's smell each other's hair and hug.
Perfectly normal sister interaction.
Yeah, it's not at all, is it?
Everything you do to me is perfect and I love you. It's just not really.
Yeah, and it's the wedding. And for some reason, there's a small child on the door going, welcome to the wedding, which I thought was a bit strange. Yeah. Well, you got to give them a job, aren't you? Otherwise, they'll just go around putting like wet toilet paper on the roof of the toilets, and then and she's like, "This is great. This is perfect," and all this stuff. And Mimi comes over and goes, "It's time."
You're my wife now, Dave.
Yeah. And she's like, no, I don't want to go back. This is it. And I'm like, no, but it's not. You've lost 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she ends up back in the room and she's like, Aunt Mimi. And she's like, oh, you'll think that it didn't happen, but follow your heart rather than your head. And that's a terrible piece of advice, Mimi.
It's what the veil does.
Yeah.
It makes you think it didn't really happen. It was all a dream.
It could be one of those cursed Twilight Zone items, this, and no one's stopped to think about that, have they? No. And so she's like, I have to go and speak to Scott, even though he's at the airport and it's 2021. You can't run through the airport anymore. You'll get shot. So she's like, well, Abby's on her way over, so she'll drive you.
Okay.
They drive, they get stuck in traffic. She explains what she thinks happened. But Scott hasn't got on the plane anyway because of reasons. I don't know. Terrorists, gremlins.
He missed it.
Yeah, he didn't really want to go, did he? He played his hand. This is it, you see. He played his hand and he lost. But luckily, Aunt Mimi's in league with Satan and the time-traveling veil. Right? So they have a talk on a bench and she's like, no, let's get married because I really do love you. I was just
scared.
I was just scared, and I'm like,
and I'll never let fear stop me from loving you. And
she lifts up her arm, and she's got a no fear tattoo like that. You see, that's good, isn't it?
No regrets.
No regrets. And then it cuts to them. Their like engagement party, or is it their wedding?
Yeah, it's their engagement.
No, it's
party.
engagement.
Their engagement party in this fucking restaurant again.
Pay for it, make use.
But it's not. They paid for it in the future. It doesn't. Time travel deposits don't
no,
work
I
like
meant
that.
the film company.
I think it's possibly one of their restaurants. Like they are. But yeah, Abby's there and she's staring across at a waiter who is Brian, and they keep doing like away eyes. And Natalie goes over and says, "You should go and talk to her. She enjoys like what was it, juggling and like
archery."
Yeah,
voodoo
gassing small animals, stuff like that, standard things. And he goes, oh, okay then. And then she goes over to Abby and goes, oh, you like him. He's a big fan of Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Being a waiter.
Yeah. And she's like, sweet, we have so much in common.
I don't understand now. So if it really happened, does she just like have like this weird insider knowledge for the rest of her life now?
Why don't she bring a sports almanac back with her?
Yeah, the lottery numbers.
No. But then it's like, in the future, are they only together because she saw them together, so she puts them together? Will their kids be called Dylan and Emma because that's what she saw? If she changes,
I hope she raises them better this time round.
More violence. If she changes Emma's name to Helen, does that throw the whole timeline off?
It'll go off in another paradox, and if she wears Mimi's veil again, she'll go back to the land of Helen and.
It's like a shit
Trevor.
Deadpool 2, this, isn't it?
I don't think I've seen Deadpool 2.
It's very good. It's on Disney Plus. But yeah, and then that's the end of the film.
Hooray!
That's the end of the film.
And it's just like nothing. That was good. I like it. I'm going to isolate that and just have that as a button from now on. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's all that happens. Like, nothing happens. She basically realizes that instead of pursuing her career, her mission in life is to be a mum who occasionally stops allergy children.
She does say at the engagement party or whenever, oh, I might open my own practice, because she did open a practice in her future.
Whatevs. Don't care. Shite. Hated it.
I
Hated it.
thought, in terms of the genre, it was all right. It wasn't
No.
a film that I liked, but I
Well,
thought,
your score, Katie, using the bewildering scoring system that we have.
You usually come to me first. 500 cigarettes by Mimi. Wait, that makes it sound really good, but that equally,
they're gonna give her
Cigarettes
cancer.
bad.
Cigarettes are bad and makes
Yeah,
her
they are.
voice painful. So 500 bad cigarettes.
Yeah, it's like Lemmy from Motorhead. Yeah, Barney.
-3 tiramisus.
Oh, that's bad. I'm going to give it 2 bronze allergic children with big heads.
Oh, what could it be?
She's full of bees and strawberries and shit like that. A lot of peanuts stuck to her. I've no idea.
Is it concussion? So I'm afraid that the actors maybe and their facts or lack of facts made me just hate life. So I stopped researching into them.
Was James Austin Kerr, who played Scott, was he in Non-Threatening Boys magazine?
Niceboys.com.
Niceboys.com.
You know I'm not allowed on niceboys.com anymore.
No.
So instead, there's that. I researched into the producers instead, and that is because there are 12 actors cast in this film and 11 producers.
What?
So I know I don't
Wow.
understand how that is possible. So one of them was called Marlon Goose Wall, and I scoured the internet to find out why his nickname was Goose, and it is not. No one explains this.
He's often fired out of the ejector seat of fighter jets.
It's like, why put it on IMDb if you're not going to explain why he's called Goose?
Maybe he's not allowed to. Maybe he's been Epsteined. Maybe that's why he's called Goose, because he kept pinching ladies' bottoms.
Mm. There was that old documentary or news report where a woman went around pinching men's bottoms.
Yeah, it's good,
How
that
they
one.
felt about it is
Yeah.
great.
But it's good because she does it to all men in like bowler hats, and they're like, "Young woman."
Feel about being pinched from the bottom by a woman. Great. There's another producer called Lawrence Braun. Has produced a few films that I just like the name of, so I've picked them. Eat, Drink, and Be Married.
Oh,
Yes, sounds great. This one just confused me with the punctuation. So it's made for you, comma, with love. So that's confusing to me. Does that
Made
mean
for
that
you, with love.
With love.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
made for you with love. Made for you with
Like,
love.
kind
makes
regards.
sense. Yeah, with love. Goodbye.
Yours sincerely.
And, yeah, and saying yes to Christmas.
Say yes to Christmas would have been better.
Yes. Who says no to Christmas unless you don't celebrate that? But then that would be weird to then celebrate it and say yes. to it.
Scrooge at the start.
Scrooge, yeah.
Grinch.
Mm.
Anyway, not Christmas.
And then the executive producer, Sebastian Batro, which is the singular form of battery.
That's a James joke, that is.
That was a James joke. I pinched it from him.
I can spot them at 20 paces.
Has a film that the nighttime show has to do called The Podcast Murderer. How meta would that be if you did that one? So yeah, that needs to be covered on the show. And
Well,
that is.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's my.
Bloody hell.
Sorry, I was really uninspired by this. film.
I understand.
Reviews, and we've got a dove.org and a movieguide.org.
Shit the bed, this has never happened before.
All the Christian sites.
Oh man, if we had, what was it, Sandra and the Christmas trees as well, it'd be the holy triumph.
No, I think Brenda only did that one review.
I know. I've been trying to get in touch with her.
When you said that, I immediately went to Brenda and you went, I was like,
Oh.
Brenda. But no, go on.
So which one do you want first?
Oh, Dove.org. Let's do Dove. Dove's like quite harsh, isn't it, with its judging?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What do you think
Ooh.
Dove.org gave it?
Is that the +5 -5? Or is that movie views whatever the other one
I think
is?
that's movie views. Movie guide.
This
Movie
one
guide.
like splits it down into like violence, nudity, all the good stuff.
Drugs and sex.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
there's some kissing, but they are married. There's
They
time
do kiss
travel, which
before
is
they're married
satanic,
as well.
though. No, do they? Oh, yeah. Any fingers are in the broom cupboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a euphemism.
I think there's a little bit of mild cleavage, as there always is.
Yeah. I think at one point you get to see her shoulder bone. You don't
Abs.
like that.
Doesn't mention cleavage, actually.
Oh.
Well,
Ankles?
it basically levels itself out to a 0. It gives it a negative rating of 2 for drugs and sex.
Drugs? When are the drugs?
Wine with dinner
Wine.
and casually quaffing, yeah.
Oh.
But then it says champagne to celebrate, no abuse of alcohol.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
And then it's a
champagne's
positive
okay?
rating.
Champagne's
Only for
okay with
celebrating.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
take this.
Gentle
breath.
kissing and hugging. It's not good, apparently.
It's gentle.
But then-
if it was
So
aggressive.
it's negative rating of 2, and then it's got a positive rating of 2 for integrity. So I think that levels it out to a 0.
Because you
Why
go and
is-
stick with your marriage even though you don't want to.
Yeah, even though it
That's
sounds
good
boring.
integrity.
Oh, gentle
This is a
kissing and hugging.
beautiful love story, a fantasy dream reveal into the future that leads to a happy life. For the rest of us, we can only hope our heartfelt choices are the right ones. Dove approved for all ages.
Jesus. I say it again. You go to Blockbuster on a Friday night with your dad. Dad, can we get up? No, we're watching this again. Oh, fucking hell. It's I'm so gentle hugging and kissing is not allowed. Like they're married.
It just says sex, gentle kissing and hugging.
Sex!
Ah,
The
wouldn't it
sex
be
is
worse
all
if it
in
was
caps.
if it was aggressive hugging, like go to you. Like, right,
Yeah,
got
that's fair.
movieguide.com.
Movieguide.org is the dominant worldview is strong moral pro-family worldview with some Christian allusions, including the start of a
Allusions?
Christian song. Where was the Christian song?
I don't remember there being any
Okay.
music in it apart from the standard bloop 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 stuff they usually have in them.
Oh, the violence one is my favourite one. Ready? Did you see any violence?
No.
Scott was just mentally abusive.
Yeah. Oh, she falls over a bit, bangs her head.
That's
yeah.
it. Light violence when woman swoons and falls to the floor. Later, her husband keeps asking her if she's okay.
How is that violence falling over?
That's like violence to yourself. That's your body being violent against you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Miscellaneous immorality.
That's how I want to live my life, with miscellaneous.
A magical wedding veil transports the heroine to her future or a vision of a possible future.
Satan.
So, knowing those things, what did movieguide.org give it? Oh, I think this is the plus or
This is the
minus
plus.
one.
This has got to be +3. With plus being good.
Just a +1
What? Oh, because she
Yeah.
fell over. Yeah.
because she fell over.
Do they mind the kissing? How do they feel about kissing?
A married couple shares some lightly passionate kisses in several scenes.
Is that
And
not
again, they
allowed?
don't like the alcohol.
But they're married, isn't that like? It's so.
Maybe if it was not passionate, but I don't think it was passionate at all. I don't think there was any passion whatsoever.
In any of this, everyone looked like they were doing it with a sniper's rifle trained on them.
I just like the miscellaneous immorality.
Yeah, that's your drag name, Katie.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous immorality.
You're going to come out with a veil on, a jeweled veil.
And then when you put it down, it's got a mask on underneath. It's a different face.
Just my face, but aged 10 years. Which none of
Wow.
them do. None of them age in 10
What
years.
did her friends say to her? Oh, what face care products are you using? Because you look like you haven't aged.
Well, maybe it's all seen through their eyes, and she has aged. But like Scott hasn't aged. No one has
None
aged.
of, none
Mimi,
of them have aged.
Mimi may be a witch. We don't even know.
Mimi should be dead by now.
I'm on my 5th lung operation. These are a camel's lungs in it. That was 2021's Our Dream Wedding. I would say.
It's not even about a wedding. It's about a marriage. Just
Listen,
realised.
you
You
little
don't see
shit.
the wedding.
It isn't, is it? Oh, what an
Was this-
absolute-
Was this
Go on.
another title for the film that Katie picked? that you couldn't find?
No. Let's have a look. Also known as Our Dream. No, it's all known as Our Dream Wedding. The Wedding Veil in France and Switzerland, and something in Bulgarian that I can't read. But it isn't about.
You don't see a wedding.
We see Abby in a wedding dress, and that's as close as we get to it.
You see the wedding video.
Again, no, but like, one bronze child with allergies. I'm docking it a point because it's got nothing to do with the title. Nothing to do with the child.
They didn't even mention it in the film.
What, the bronze child?
No, the film title. They normally drop it in somewhere.
They usually go that.
That was that. I would say your favourite line, but I honestly can't.
No. I would never have put those things together and got allergic reaction.
The veil knows what the veil knows. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
It's full of cacti.